Hi 7th grade. In this video you will learn how to create a new iMovie project and how to upload your pictures and change the duration, the Ken Burns effect, and a couple of other things. So go ahead and open up iMovie. You'll notice that when you open your iMovie, it will open up to whatever the last project was. So the first thing that we need to do is to create a new project. So you're going to click on Project Library. And then in Project Library, you're going to click on the plus sign to create a new project. Your title should be your name. And then we're going to call this Lab Safety underscore, and then I'm going to do PX, whatever your period is, period 3 or 6 or 5 or 2 or 8. Go ahead and put that in. You don't need to change anything else, and then go ahead and hit Create. That will give you a brand new project here in the project area. You'll notice that your name is up on top. This is your this is your preview area, which means that anything that you've created in your video will show up here. In the bottom, you have your event library and your specific events. These sections have to deal with actual video. In 7th grade, we're only working with pictures, so you don't need to worry about that. So we need to get our photos into iMovie. You have created a folder with your lab safety pictures. So all I did was I clicked on the gray line at the top and I just moved my iMovie over a little bit to open up my lab safety picture folder. And I'm actually going to reorganize this. I'm going to put this on the left-hand side and I'm going to move my iMovie to the right just because it's a little bit easier to deal with. Go ahead and drag the first 3 pictures in. So I'm just going to click and hold and drag 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to click that green plus sign to maximize the space that my iMovie is on my screen. You'll notice that you now have 3 pictures in your project area. And as you move your mouse over, your pictures are going to kind of move a little bit. They're going to show up in the preview area on the right hand side of your screen. The red line is called your scrubber line, so that's showing you exactly where your mouse is selected. So the first thing that we need to know how to do is how to change the duration or the time of your video or time of your picture. So if you double click on your photo, you're going to get this guy here, which is your inspector. Duration means time. So right now this is 4 seconds long. That first picture, I want you to change it to 10 seconds. I'm just going to hit 10 and hit done. Now it doesn't look like anything has changed, but if you notice when I put my mouse over it, instead of 4S, it's now 10S. So this has been changed to 10 seconds long. If you want to see an actual visual indication that your picture has changed time, down here you have a slider which will adjust the number of frames per second or per thumbnail that you're seeing in your project area. So I can take this down, and even though it looks like my project's getting bigger, it's still only 18 seconds long. So this slider here is just really like a magnifying glass. I like to keep it at all so that way I can see my whole project. So what I want you to do now is pause the video. You're going to create your project. You're going to insert 3 pictures, and then you're going to change the time of one of your pictures to 10 seconds. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that you have your pictures in and you've changed the time, we're going to look at how to reorder the pictures and how to apply different effects. So to reorder the picture, I'm just going to click on the photo once, and if I move it around, you'll notice that you get a green line wherever that picture ends up. So you can change the order of these photos as many times as you want. And so because I only have 3 pictures, there's going to be only so many combinations. Now, the next thing that you'll notice is as you move your mouse over the photo, you're going to see some movement in your picture. That's called the Ken Burns effect. This particular effect was created by a man named Ken Burns, and when he was making documentaries, he noticed that a lot of his static still pictures were kind of boring. So he came up with a way to make the pictures look like they're moving. And iMovie will place a generic Ken Burns effect on your photos, but sometimes it doesn't make sense, especially this little glass beaker here. So I'm going to modify my Ken Burns effect to make it visually make a little more sense than just zooming in on this bottom part. In the photo, when you put your mouse over it, you're going to have a blue wagon wheel. That's your editing clip. So go ahead and click on that, and you're going to look for cropping, Ken Burns, and rotation. When you do that, in your preview area, you're going to get this really neat option to start your picture and where to end your picture. And so because this photo has a lot of extra stuff in it that I really don't need, I'm really just going to start my picture at the top and end my picture at the bottom of the broken beaker. I can preview it by clicking this button here, and it will play the section of clip. Now that makes visually a lot more sense. If I didn't want any movement at all, I would just say fit. And so when I hit play, there is no movement happening on that particular picture. Crop means that I can cut specific pieces out of the video, but there is no movement along with it. So if you just need to zoom in or zoom out, that's what you would do. I like the Ken Burns effect because I can zoom in and I can focus on specific parts of the photos instead of seeing everything. Now, a couple things to think about. This yellow line, the longer the yellow line, the faster your video will go. It's really hard to see. The shorter your yellow arrow, let me increase the size here. The shorter your yellow arrow, the slower your photo will go. So you just kind of have to think about how much of your photo you want to show and how fast you want it to be shown. If you want to change direction, there's a little flip-flop arrow here on your start. If I click that, I will now start at the bottom and work my way up to the top. So that's a nice way that you can quickly change things. So I actually like it the other way around. When you're done, you just hit the word done. And now if I want to look at this in context with my video, if I press my space bar, that will begin my video and I can see it over here in my preview area. And if I hit my space bar again, that will stop the video. So now what I want you to do is go ahead and apply Ken Burns effects on all three of your photos, making sure that you know how to work them and how to move them around. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now that you've played around with the Ken Burns effect and you've worked on sequencing and organization, your next task is to include all 12 of your pictures. So I'm just going to highlight from the bottom up. I know I had these 9 left. And I'm going to drag them in. And using your planning paper that you should have with you, I want you to place these in the correct order and apply Ken Burns effect to all of them. So your next task is to insert the remainder 9 pictures, put your photos in the order that you have created yesterday, and apply Ken Burns effect. Some of these, like this first one, I don't want any Ken Burns effect on that. I just want it to say lab safety and have no movement there because I think that looks better, but that's just me. You have the remainder of the period to do this. Please make sure it's done and you're ready for tomorrow. Thank you.